So Mike mentioned 3 takeaways. What we're going to be showing you later on is how your site traffic directly correlates in many cases to an increase in sales. So if because obviously it's also measurable. If you do a search in your analytics and you've had a 20% increase in quality traffic, really you should be looking at a 20% increase in your sales. So that's the sort of measurement that we'd be looking at.
So a very simple thing, the lady mentioned, it's a very complex world. If you use analytics and you focus on increasing quality traffic, sales will follow. We're going to go through pay-per-click and we're going to go through SEO. But if you align the two, so you make sure that the words that you're being found for in SEO, you're also bidding for on pay-per-click, and they happen to be what you do as a business, then the click-through rate goes through the roof. It's a factor of 5 increase, as opposed to any other one factor on its own. We'll go into more depth of that in a minute.
Just to make sure everyone is clear on that, PPC, pay-per-click, that's Google AdWords. When you pay for position, you're bidding against your competition to appear at the top of Google, as opposed to SEO, search engine optimization, where you don't pay to click through, but it takes longer to get there, and that's more of a structure around your website, which, as I say, we're going to cover off. So that's the difference. It's paid and non-paid advertising online. Can I have a show of hands? Who has heard of remarketing? I forgot to introduce you, didn't I, Tom? I'm so sorry. Tom is our very important videographer, Tom Stanhope from Flying Machine Media, so he's here to record this morning. Okay, so you might not have heard of remarketing, but when we describe it to you, you'll definitely know what it is, so watch that space. So our growth strategy, identify the margin in your business. You may or you may not know which of your products or services deliver the most margin. With internet marketing or digital marketing, if you try and target everything, you're going to get a scattergun approach. What we say is focus on your margin. If you've got products or services that are actually going to bring in more revenue for you, focus on those first, then the rest will follow.
Because if you focus on your best products, so the lady doing e-commerce, if you just think about your key products and you focus on trying to work out what works and what doesn't, you're not spreading yourself too thinly. Because once you start to get an understanding of what works and what doesn't for your best products, then the same things are going to work for your other products. If you start to spread your budget across everything, then you're not going to learn as quickly, basically. So focus on the core area of your business, whatever it is, and make sure you're driving traffic to that core area of the business.
So does that mean that if your business is kind of like split into several parts, you should be choosing one and promoting that rather than try to kind of like...
In terms of... the caveat is every business is different. But as a general rule of thumb, if 80% of your profit comes from a certain thing or a certain area, which it probably does, then focusing on that is where if you're driving everything around that, all the things we're going to show you, you're going to get more website visitors about what you make the most margin on, about what your best product is. You'll start to get sales and you'll start to get an understanding of what works and what doesn't and why, and then you can start to apply it to everything else.
Would you use different platforms for different customers and products?
What do you mean by that?
Well, just for example, LinkedIn is very good for finding people in recruitment, also inward investment for myself, companies looking to set up in the UK. Facebook is more sort of people who've got businesses, sort of the smaller end of the market, small companies and small traders.
What we're taking you through here is based on the depth of experience, applying it to clients in an offline world, what works best. So if you're a recruitment company, yes, LinkedIn is really good, and the changes that LinkedIn are making are starting to emerge. Now, we haven't seen it yet. We actually use LinkedIn for remarketing, which we can touch in a second, and likewise with Facebook. Facebook are fantastic at generating traffic to your business, but we haven't seen it convert better than Google yet. So we recommend you focus with Google to begin with and make it work with Google, because like the Facebook boost, that will drive a lot of visitors, a lot of likes, but when you're measuring conversions, it's not as good as Google. So we're taking you through a simple approach. You get all this choice you've got we're basically saying just follow this path, do these simple steps, start to get an understanding of what works, and then you can test. You know, if you're an accountant and your taxation is your thing, and you start to make things work for taxation, your choice then is, okay, I'm going to start going after management accounts, say, or do I say, no, I'll try taxation now on LinkedIn or Facebook? So you've got two paths to go there. Yeah.
So does your website reflect this? Quick case study, we've got a client who we've been working with for about 4 or 5 years. After about 2 or 3 years in a meeting, we got obviously the products and services on the website. They mentioned bespoke services, and we said, what do you mean by bespoke services? Oh, well, that's 50% of our turnover. So we said, well, why isn't that on your website then? Oh yeah, should be, shouldn't it? So we put a page up for bespoke services, started driving direct traffic to it, and they are having record quarter on record quarter. So, you know, it's not a stupid question to say, does your website reflect where your margins are? Very often people miss it, so we'll be looking at that.
It's actually very rare that it does, because people are so engrossed in their business and so engrossed about, and so proud of the business and what you do. People tend not to think of it from a business perspective, so it tends not to reflect the business.
And then we look at aligning your website with your marketing strategy, which we'll go into in more detail. And as Mike said, using lots of different methods to drive the traffic, looking at your market by keywords and location, and all important test and measure. Show of hands, does everybody use Google Analytics? Anybody not use Google Analytics? Okay, please start using Google Analytics, really important. If you're spending any money or any energy marketing your business, you need to know if it's working or not, and Google Analytics is the best really way of
Has anybody run Google and asked for help with Google Analytics? Yeah, so that's very important. If you're using analytics, they do great video courses, or you can ring Google, just the main number, and you get a choice, AdWords or Analytics, and they'll take you through it, and I'll make sure it's all structured properly and give you an awful lot of help as to how to use it.
And then, as we mentioned, we will be looking at a correlation between your sales and an increase in traffic.
One very slightly down
Okay, the slides are over, yeah. So, our first takeaway then is looking at how to increase your sales. If you think about your website as a funnel, lots and lots of different ways of driving the traffic, which we'll cover some off shortly. If you've got a spend at the top, which in this scenario £500 spend in terms of driving the traffic, measure what's coming out in terms of your conversion, in terms of your sales, but most importantly what's coming out in terms of margin. So if you're spending £500 a month and you're making £5,000 in profit, 1 in 10 return on investment, we would argue that that's working. So have some sort of structure in place where you can measure whether it's working or not.
The key for those using analytics and using goals will give you a degree of conversion. It's very hard if you're getting phone calls and emails coming in to measure on your website what a goal is. So the best thing to do is to use what's called view more. Again, Google will help you do this, but you basically just click on goals, you go to setting up a goal, and you view more is time on the site, and go for about 3 minutes, and that will give you a reasonable conversion. Any business here, that will give you a reasonable conversion, an understanding of what's converting and what isn't, because you're looking for people to spend more time on your site. You can't measure the phone calls, you can't measure the networking, you can't measure the word of mouth, but you can measure time on site. And we've applied that for about the past 2 years, and it's the best tool that you've got at this moment in time. Google are developing something called Smart Goals. But for those of you wanting to measure a conversion using analytics, it's time on the site. So that point there, in terms of quality traffic, anyone can go to Facebook and buy loads of likes, go to Twitter, buy loads of traffic. You can go to people who actually go visit your website. It's artificial. What we're talking about is quality traffic by doing things properly. If you focus on driving more visitors the right way and not buying loads and loads of visitors, then that's going to work for you. Here, the key point here is this is 7 months on 7 months for a client, and the percentage increase in new users is 94%. That client's gone from 400,000 to 1 million over that period because we've driven quality natural traffic, quality pay-per-click, and the direct traffic comes naturally from the marketing that he does. People will type in his name because they know who he is. Which is the other point just to mention here. Social media converts, natural social media converts brilliantly, better than anything else, but it's hard to get volume to your website. Very hard. And that reflects this presentation. The workshop on the 6th of October will talk about what to do in social media. This in terms of digital marketing and making online sales via your website, using SEO, pay-per-click and so on and so forth, driving traffic to your website. Social media is very, very hard. So within analytics, this just gets broken down into sections. So you don't need to see this, don't worry, because it's the same data, the same 94% broken down, and every one of these shows an increase. 100% increase in organic, 4,000 increase in paid, 10% increase in direct, 1,000% increase in remarketing because they weren't doing it previously. But this is the key measuring tool for you, is the traffic that you're driving to your site, and then the conversions based on time on site coming out the other side. That's just the same data boosted. Okay.
So in terms of what we would advise, as we've said, lots and lots of different things. What we focus on are these things: find your gross margin, do some SEO, on-page optimization, pay-per-click advertising, good social media and remarketing. So amongst the whole world of digital marketing, if you can focus on those and apply them to your website, that's kind of our stream of coal. We've found it working really well. We measure very carefully. So
each of you is looking for a seam of coal for your business that converts to revenue and profit. Each one will be slightly different, but that formula at the moment, which we're about to go through, really does work for our clients.